cute little game that Republicans like to play is, if I say racist things like Mexicans coming across the border are rapists and criminals, but you call me out on it, no, that's racist. Now, I've shown you dozens of examples of that. Now, lately, Donald Trump's talking about Elizabeth Warren, and Elizabeth Warren has pointed out the bigoted and racist things that Donald Trump has said. So Donald Trump's going to be really clever and turn it around on her. And she said she's 5% Native American. She was unable to prove it. She used the fact that she was Native American to advance her career. Elizabeth Warren is a total fraud. I know it. Other people who work with her know it. Elizabeth Warren is a total fraud. He loves to repeat because he has nothing in his head. She made up her heritage, which I think is racist. I think she's very racist, actually, because what she did was very racist. Now, was there any evidence that she made up that she's Native American? No. So I tell you I'm Turkish. I never presented any evidence of it. Maybe I'm Greek. Hey, has anybody ever presented evidence that I'm not Turkish? No. Okay, nobody's ever presented evidence that she's not Native American. They just say it so often that they get people to believe, oh, yeah, she was lying about that. I know it. How do you know it? This is the same guy who said Obama's lying about being an American. And they asked him to prove it, and he couldn't prove it. Remember when he said, oh, we went to Hawaii. I have my investigators there. And they found some very, very interesting things we'll reveal soon. That was years ago. Donald, when are you going to reveal it? They never have evidence about anything. And what is their evidence that Elizabeth Warren is racist? She's very, very racist. She's tremendously racist. They have no evidence whatsoever. It's normal. Then Jan Brewer is going to continue this trick when she goes on television. She's the obviously Republican governor of Arizona and now supports Donald Trump. Let's watch.
You know, President Obama just always comes tearing after Republicans constantly, calling names and calling people bigots and racists, and that's their big comeback, you know, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
That's actually an interesting point, though.
To see a president speak like that is offensive. With President Obama and Hillary Clinton, every time you disagree with them, it doesn't matter which subject it is, you're a bigot or you're a racist.
Governor Brewer is absolutely right about that. This is a fallback when you have a president who cannot defend his policies and their outcomes, and so he jumps immediately to the race card, racist card in particular. It's a common tactic for Democrats.
That was the Cooch at the end there, Ken Cuccinelli, former Attorney General of Virginia, who tried to ban oral sex in Virginia. And then lost for governor. Who would have figured? Genius. So, two things here. One, well, if I say incredibly racist things, or I say I'm going to actively and proudly discriminate against an entire religion, but you call me bigot, that is the definition of bigotry. You call me out on it, no, you're the bigot for saying I'm a bigot. You're the person name calling, but what, okay, then how can I fight you? So, by the way, President Obama doesn't call Trump that. First of all, he doesn't call almost any other Republican that. Even with Trump, he insinuates it. He's so soft. If I was the president, believe me, I wouldn't be that soft. Oftentimes, he won't even say Trump's name. So some people in the Republican Party, dude, yeah, it's Trump. And by the way, it's also the other Republicans. They created that Frankenstein. But Obama doesn't say any of that because he's so goddamn polite. But they turn it around and say he's a name caller anyway. They attack him anyway on that stuff. But no, it's not true that you can't attack the president and not be charged with bigotry or racism. I go after the president all the time on trade issues, on tax issues, on the public option, and you name it. I've gone after the president on dozens of issues. And no, they didn't call me a bigot or a racist because it had nothing to do with race. Those are policy differences. If you guys had policy differences, and from time to time you do, for example, the Export-Import Bank, you say that's crony capitalism. You're right about that. There's no bigotry or racism in that. That's a policy issue. That's an economic issue. But when he calls you out on things that you said that are bigoted and racist, well, sad day for you. I got news for you. You should stop being a bigot. That would prevent those attacks. But the other part that drove us crazy, me and our producer here, J.R. Jackson, is, oh, the president likes to do name calling. Really? And the Republicans don't do name calling when it comes to the president. I think we might have some evidence to the contrary. Let's roll the tape.
You can easily argue that the President of the United States is a racist with his policies and his rhetoric.
Unfortunately, for 7.5 years, this animal we call president, because he's an animal, okay?
I don't call people names.
I don't say you. Yes, you do. Sometimes you do. You're not as nasty as a lot of them, but you say crybaby
He is a crime. That's not a name. That's just an adjective.
Sean.
Hello?
This is the president of the United States.
I know, but he's acting like a crybaby sometimes.
A fist bump, a pound, a terrorist fist jab.
Our imam child.
Then he has no place in any station of government, and we need to realize that he is an enemy of humanity.
They have already taken their $1 trillion ball home, and they're sitting on it, you jackass. And I'm sorry to have to say this.
Add that we have what is now a pathological illness of a president.
Our opponent is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country.
This is where he's an ignoramus.
Now we've moved into the realm of gangster government. We have gangster government.
He's a jackass. He's an economic illiterate. He's an economic ignoramus.
This is power politics. The Rahm Emanuel, Barack Obama, son and daughter of Saul Alinsky, linked up with Mayor Daley. The Chicago machine, we know what it is. I mean, it's, someone called it gangster government.
Billy Cunningham, why is this president so pathetically weak that he can't acknowledge a simple truth?
Sean Hannity, maybe his middle name is a clue.
Which racial ideologue do you know that's not angry? I mean, she sounded like Hillary Clinton in that racial dialect.
Yeah, are we surprised? I mean, after all, we got a chai swilling, golf playing, basketball trash talking, leading from behind. I got no strategy. Osama bin Laden is dead. GM is alive. A community organizing commander-in-chief. How disrespectful was that?
No, conservatives would never do name calling.